us today, watching at home, everybody here in the studio audience, how you doing? Not so good today. We're all still reeling from the tragic news of the legendary Whitney Houston, who passed away at 48 years old over the weekend. I've got my thoughts. I've been thinking about you and you know, how to do the show today, so we'll talk. Also on today's show, the multi-talented Holly Robinson Peete is here. Holly's going to share a really interesting connection that she has with Whitney. And, yeah, really interesting. Yeah. Plus, we'll also find out the real reason that Holly was offed from that daytime talk show, The Talk. We'll talk. Plus, we're going to be kicking off How You Dating Week here on Wendy. Okay, well, all right, here's the thing. We here at the show get tons of requests from single women saying, can you please help find a good man? So we've gone to work for you, and we found 5 great eligible bachelors, and each, I know, there's still a few good ones out there, and each day this week we're going to be playing a fun dating game where I play host with a long microphone, and we're going to give, every day, 3 single Wendy watchers a chance to make a love connection. So, yeah, let's get the show started. It's time for Hot Topics. Thank you, guys. In case this is not reading on TV, these are those little chalky hearts, because Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Yes, what a sad, sad story regarding Whitney Houston, right? So young, so talented, so legendary and iconic, and only 48 years old. I was at home in New Jersey when I heard the news, and I don't remember much else after that. I know I was not answering phone calls. I wasn't making phone calls. I turned off the TV. I did not watch the Grammys. I did not watch the Fashion Police before the Grammys. Like, I did nothing. I started a new book this weekend, so I started reading. And that was about it. I kind of shut down and, you know, went into my shell and, you know, thinking about Whitney. And well, some of the details of her death, and they're still unfolding. We're hearing that she drowned. We're hearing that she was in the bathtub. We're hearing that she was at the Beverly Hills Hotel. TMZ today, as well as some other outlets, are reporting that the family was told now that Whitney didn't drown because there wasn't enough water in her lungs. I don't know how the newspapers are near where you are, but it's everywhere. And, you know, the news scroller on every single TV show. They say she may have died from a combination of prescription drugs, including Xanax and a mixture of alcohol. You know, it's all speculation, and we won't know for 4 to 8 weeks. But Whitney's death, everybody's going to be talking about it today, tomorrow, next week, next month. After I say what I say, I'm not talking about it anymore. You'll have to turn on Entertainment Tonight, The View, their Hot Topics. You know, I'm out. I felt very close to Whitney, even though this is a woman that I've never met. Never met her. Never been in the same room with her, except for one time in my life, in 1985, when her first album came out, and I was a radio personality at my radio station at college in Boston, Northeastern University. And this new singer with this great voice came to Constitution Hall, and that's the only time in our entire lives that Whitney and I have even ever been in the same room together. Ever. I had a very long radio career, over 20 years. I interviewed Whitney once in 2003, and many of you will all recall that interview. Some of the things that Whitney and I have in common that bonded us: the love of our mother and father. Mr. Houston has since passed. Mrs. Houston and, you know, my mother, around the same age. Whitney and I, same age, and both plagued with the demon of substance abuse. been almost 15 years since I smoked last from a crack pipe. It's been almost 15 years since I waited on Jerome Avenue in the Bronx for my drugs. Thank you. I'm not proud of the girl that I was, but without being that girl, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today. So if it makes any sense to you, I have no regrets. There's one thing throughout it all, my connection with Whitney, is that I wished for us both to be really sober and really aware. And I knew I'd meet her one day, but I always pictured that time to be in our late 50s, 60s, with her being the number one spokesperson for Say No. I just, for some reason, thought that that's what she would do. It's what I want to do. I just thought we would meet and we would hug and we'd be sober and older and my heart goes out to Bobby Chris, her daughter, who's 18. And my heart goes out to her mother, Sissy. My heart goes out to her cousin, Dionne Warwick, and her auntie, Aretha Franklin. And if you ever watched this show in season 1, you'll recall my Whitney fans. It was never because I ever thought that she would come to our show, because it's just not why I was doing it. I was doing it because I was still hearing things regarding Whitney, and in my own kooky, crazy way, this was my way of showing love. And the one time that we did have our encounter, she ended it. I said, "I love you, Whitney." She said, "I love you too, Wendy." She's my Jersey girl. She was a woman like me who's part of the subculture of our society, the addict. So today, on behalf of me and anybody that you might know who's going through a struggle with substance abuse, anybody, and I don't care whether it's heroin, coke, pills, booze, reach out to that person. I'm one of the lucky ones. Reach out to that person and call them out on it. Because even if they don't quit, once you call them out, it makes it harder for them to sneak around, get high. And I guess that's all I wanted to say. I know that, again, the toxicology report is not in. I've never done this before on this show. But I'm telling you now that I don't have anything more to say regarding this particular case. It's just sad. And it's just sad. I love you, Whitney. I would like to let you guys know that Holly's here today, and she's going to be up here next, and her Whitney story is actually quite entertaining. But first, as we go to the break, I'd like to have a moment of silence for my Jersey girl, Whitney Houston.